Hey guys, hope you're all having a great day. So right next to me here is a Firelight Hydrangea. I got this at Home Depot. It was about $18 or so after tax and everything, which is a really great price for this hydrangea. Normally you can find them anywhere from the 30s to 40s to even 50s for individual plants. So for 18 bucks, that's pretty good. However, it doesn't look all that great. And let me give you a better look of what we're actually dealing with. So you can see right here it says Firelight. It's in a 3-gallon container. I'd say with the pot, it's probably anywhere from like 3 to 4 feet tall. So it's a decent sized plant, but there's only leaves really on the top portion of this plant. There are a few flowers that are opening. It's about the middle of July, so this is the time that this plant would start blooming. But it's not blooming in the way that it should be, and it doesn't look the way that it should be. You can see there's no leaves on the bottom portion of this. So I want to talk about how I'm going to take care of this plant and what I'm going to do in order to save this. And just so that way you understand, the way that this happened is just that it wasn't watered enough and the leaves dropped from the bottom to the top when they ended up drying up. So it just didn't get the proper care in the sense of water. Hydrangeas are one of the best plants to have an issue like this with, especially a panicle hydrangea, because these can be cut back every year and they'll grow a lot of new fresh growth. So as long as it stays healthy for the rest of the season, which these leaves still feel really healthy right now, it'll grow back nice and full next year. So what I'm going to end up doing is, for now, I'm just going to cut back a lot of the dead. So like, see this branch here, I'll cut that back to here. This one I'll cut down to here, just so that way I can only have the leaves here. And I want to leave pretty much as many leaves on here as possible, and maybe cut back a few of these flowers so it's not putting too much energy into flowering, but more so just photosynthesizing and gaining as much energy as it can for the next season, because it doesn't have as many leaves on it to photosynthesize. So I just want to make sure that I give it as best of a chance as I have. From that point, you can see right here, this was probably growth from either last year or the year before that. And you can see that this was cut here, and then it has all these other stalks that grew up from this point. So what I'm going to do in the fall, or even early spring actually is likely when I'm going to do it, the rest of these branches, so like this one right here, I'm going to cut down probably to about here, to 1/3 of the length of what the branch normally is. And all of these nodes that you see here are where new leaves are going to be emerging from. So I'll leave this branch here for the rest of the season, maybe cut back some of the dead here, and then in the late winter, early spring, I'm going to cut it back to about 1/3, and I'll do that with every single one of these branches. And what that'll do is, instead of the plant being this tall, it's going to be more so this tall, and it'll grow back much fuller next year instead of having just top leaves. If you get other plants that are in this condition, it's not always the case that you can do that with all of them, but specifically with a panicle hydrangea, I'm able to do this because it grows back from new wood every single year. All right, so hopefully with a different background, you can see the hydrangea a little bit better, but I want to show you with this branch how I'm going to be taking care of this just for the rest of this summer. So since this bloom stalk is dead, but the leaves still look good on it, I'm just going to cut it back to here. Just so that way it gives it a little bit more of a cleaner look, but we still have all the leaves on here that can photosynthesize. So I'm just going to use my pruners to clean up the rest of this hydrangea and just keep it looking a little bit better for the rest of the season. So now that it's all cleaned up, the next thing is going to be just planting it in the ground. The best thing we can do for the rest of the season is just to put it in the ground as soon as possible, water it in, and I'm going to be watering it just about every single day for the rest of the summer. Especially right now, it was 93 degrees today, it's going to be 95 tomorrow, and really hot temperatures at least for the next couple of weeks. So just making sure it's well watered every single day is going to be the best thing we can do. And what that's going to allow this plant to do is establish some roots in, so that way it can really root into its space and get out of that little canister that it's in. As well as planting it today, I'm going to be using some of this. This is Biotone starter fertilizer. I just keep it in a pot because it's easier than using the actual bag to shake it in. Biotone starter fertilizer is a little bit different from regular fertilizers. It has something in it called mycorrhizae, and mycorrhizae helps plants establish roots. So think about it in this sense. Instead of there being just like one little root that's growing from the plant, and obviously it has more than that, there might be like 5 more that grow instead. It tries to spread out roots and spread them faster, so that way it can have less transfer shock into the ground and just establish itself better. And that will give it more of a boost for next year when it's really going to start to grow and flourish as it should. Besides that, I'm just going to make sure that I water it in really, really well every single day. And what I'm pretty much going to do is just hold that faucet down on half to full force for a good 20 to 30 seconds, just to make sure that I get a really good deep soaking on that. So besides that, I hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you have any other questions or comments. Feel free to put them in the comment section down below, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Besides that, I hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one.